My name is Charles De Vos. I've been running Adiecoot for the last 13.5 years. Because we're a family-owned business and we've been running in Western Australia for plus 65 years, we have that family business-owned values. And what's important to us is to continue to manufacture in Western Australia and continue to create not only jobs for people, but look after their families.
I'm Thashes Nell. I'm the finance and admin manager of Adiecoot & Co. One of the big things, one of the main reasons why we started to look out for a digital solution for our business is, this company is already 73 years old, and most of the processes that we've had in the business came along with all the years, and really got to a stage where it was really outdated. And we really needed to find something from a digital solution point of view that could set the business up for the future.
There's lots of different spreadsheets throughout the different offices. They are duplicating or sometimes triplicating what they're actually doing. There was a real definite need for that automation.
When we started on this journey to really digitize our systems that we've had in the business, we had started at our head office, where we implemented a new ERP solution, which was really the first step for us, and that journey took us about a year to really complete. But that wasn't the end of the road for us.
Once we had completed, putting in the system, our operating system, to control our financial side of the business, there was a need to actually control what we were doing out on the floor. And we needed more visibility, and we needed to really make sure from A to Z what our efficiencies were like. People were manufacturing stuff, and it meant we were still capturing those people's times manually and then doing a costing on it. So we needed something that was giving us up-to-date information.
All the processes were really manually driven, and it really was difficult to do proper scheduling around all these manual processes that we've had in place. So we had to do something about it, and obviously we've done a lot of research in finding a solution that not only could integrate with our ERP solution, but really that we could implement in a short time successfully into the factory.
To react to something, the production manager wasn't really sure what the implication was if he moved stuff around. Yeah, sure, it was kind of putting out the fire and then going to the next fire. But with something that is automated, you can see immediately what the implication is, or how to move stuff around in an automated scheduling system. What Smart Shop Floor has done for us is taken away the rigidness of our scheduling and given us so much more flexibility to react to certain stuff. That certainly has been a huge change for us, one that was really necessary.
So we also really wanted to make it a very user-friendly system for them to be able to use, to understand, and obviously embrace the change. It was installed in over a period of about 7 or 8 weeks, and it's since running for a number of months now, very successfully. But yes, the team members from the factory embrace the system quite fantastically, very enthusiastically. They happy to raise issues, to come up with issues, and any improvements that they might have.
We now have a digital production facility. We're moving towards that end goal of being paperless.
And I can just talk about the scheduling, which was also a very, very manually driven process before. Now that we have started that process, it is so much easier for us to change things. If we need to change job orders, if we need to change staff scheduling, if we need to change maintenance scheduling, because Smart Shop Floor give us all that real-time information on which we can make real-time based decisions upon.
We now find ourselves in a space where we're controlling those jobs from A to Z, and knowing exactly the path that job has traveled. Was there any bottlenecks, or are there any bottlenecks? Was there any delays? What sort of delays are we finding in the process of each and every job? You know, how long is the guy waiting for the crane? How long is the guy waiting for the forklift, for example? What is happening with our subcontractors? We've now got all this data that we can correlate and put into something that's real knowledge, something that is usable to say, okay, this is where we need to improve. We have improved the way we communicate with those jobs. People on the floor know what's coming to them. They can see, they've got the visibility of what is going to be expected of them next. And as you move along, so all those drawings and things that you thought had to be put into the system are now being uploaded onto a digital, system where people can have a look at those drawings. They can communicate back by just simply pushing a button and communicating back to the production manager from where they are, and not moving around and not walking all over the place and not trying to find the paperwork they're looking for. They can certainly get answers to the questions they're looking for, certainly a lot easier.
When we decided to embrace a digital solution for the factory, we've had a number of key performance indicators in mind that we wanted to achieve. And it was really one of the key things was the production scheduling. That was a very much a manual driven process that the production manager spent hours on every week in terms of updating it, changing it. When a customer, for example, phones in to get an update on his order, there was a delay before we could get back to the customer to exactly give him an update in terms of where exactly his order is in the process. And since we've implemented Smart Shop Floor, just in terms of time saving for the production manager, I could easily say that saved him a couple of hours a day in terms of just running around and finding the relevant information to update our customers. If we look at some of the processes that we've had in the manufacturing, in the factory floor itself, again, a lot of delays happen there. All of that has changed since we've had implemented shop floor. And again, on a daily basis, one could say you've probably saved a good couple of hours for the operators in terms of speeding up that whole process, in terms of avoiding all those delays or kind of delays that we've had in the past. We are a pre-ISO certified company in quality management, health and safety management, and environmental management. Smart Shop Floor integrates nicely in our certification to ensure that we deliver the highest quality product, because it alerts us at an early stage if the quality of the product or the things that we do in terms of the processes are not up to the standard that it should be, and we can obviously react proactively to those sort of issues.
Although we've always been safety conscious, we've got a system that incorporates that safety into it on a daily basis. It asks all the guys, "Are you okay?" It's focusing on not only production, but from a safety point of view, it's all tied out into one package. It's extremely hard to get good talent coming through the door, and it's even harder to retain them. And I think when you've got a modernized system in such an old manufacturing process, I think people look at it differently. I think the staff look at it differently. I think they're able to look at it and say, wow, this is quite exciting now. There's something new. It's not the same old thing that I've been doing year after year. I guess it excites a lot of more the younger people, and hopefully we're able to attract more talent, just given that we're now putting in systems that are modern.